Hey guys, it's Cloudy Kai. I'm back once again, and I'm still on this grind, even though I am a little bit sick right now. But I recently started reading Berserk, and right now I'm on chapter 194. So I'm in the beginning parts of the Millennium Falcon arc. But while reading this series, I can't help but notice something. A lot of things in this series are very similar to Devilman. It's probably because the author of Berserk, Kentaro Miura, rest in peace by the way, stated he was actually inspired by Devilman. But because of these various apparent similarities, I wanted to make this video. This will kind of be like my video comparing Chainsaw Man and Devilman, although I think the story actually has even more similarities to the Devilman manga than the Chainsaw Man manga did. So without any further explanations, I think it's about damn time we get into this. And also, make sure to join the Discord. So first off, when it comes to discussing the similarities between Devilman and Berserk, I want to discuss his characters, specifically Ryo Asuka, spoiler alert, he's Satan, and Griffith, also known as Femta. My two favorite twinks in anime. I swear I'm straight down choke. I'm not gay. I very much like female body parts and women. From my last video, you can tell I like women. I really like Makima. But so I better not be getting accusations saying he likes femboys. No, I don't. That was a joke. Yeah, I'm just making a statement right now because I am straight. But Guts and Akira also do share a lot of similarities as well, such as them both having very headstrong personalities, being quite violent, but also having hearts of gold. Both of them also struggle with their demons deep within. What's similar is pale in comparison to similars between Ryo and Griffith. Ryo and Griffith are so similar, in fact, I'm very convinced that Ryo was probably the greatest inspiration for Griffith when Miura was making the manga. Let me explain. So both of these antagonists start off as the best friend of the main character, who acts like as a second main character for a lot of the series. For Berserk, I guess just mainly the Golden Age arc. While the protagonists are seen as more emotional, more prone to violence for the entire series, both Ryo and Griffith are much more calm, calculating, and strategic. They don't ever really lose their temper that much like the main character, and are both highly intelligent. Both of the main characters also in some ways seem to love the main character more than just friends. With Ryo, it's outright stated that he wants to be with Akira, and with Griffith, I don't think he's outright stated his love for Guts, but it does make it seem like he's very obsessed with him. So I think Ryo might just be, a little bit, maybe a little bit gay for Guts. That's all what I think, though. But anyways, they then both manipulate the main character for the entire series to get what they want. Then once shit hits the fan, the two antagonists betray the main characters and take everything away from them. Not only this, but before becoming antagonists, neither of them really aware that they were antagonists. It wasn't until that big reveal that were like, oh yeah, I'm the antagonist, and then they started doing antagonist shit. But there's also two particular scenes in both these manga which I think are pretty similar. The first one in Devilman is where we see Akira trying to run off from the beginning of the apocalypse, try to save people and shit like that, which Ryo doesn't want him to do because he doesn't want Akira to leave his side and may possibly die fighting against these devils, because that would be bad, because if Ryo values Akira more than the rest of humanity. But Akira doesn't listen, and he goes, and despite Ryo's best efforts to get him to stay. In Berserk, Guts wants to leave the band of the Hawks, but Griffith doesn't want him to leave his side, so he challenges him to a duel. When you compare the two characters, you can really start to see many blatant similarities between them. Also, the fact that they're both basically demon kings is another bonus. I will say though, I think Griffith is much more evil than Ryo, which is saying something since Ryo is literally fucking Satan, but Griffith just does a lot more fucked up shit that I haven't seen Ryo do. Maybe Ruby person, but I feel like Griffith is a lot more soulless. I feel like Ryo still has there's still some humanity in him. Griffith literally has no humanity in him whatsoever. At this point, probably after becoming Femta, the shit he the scene. I'm not gonna mention the words because these trigger words might YouTube's policy team bots shit. Yeah, I'm not going to mention what happened with what Griffith did to Casca. Just know, if you've read Berserk, you know what I'm talking about. But we're going to move on and shit like that. Both of these characters also share extremely feminine features when it comes to the manga, at least. Because with Devilman, I guess only Rio when he becomes Satan looks that feminine, because normal Rio looks pretty masculine. But in Crybaby they actually do change his normal design to be more feminine too, which I actually have a little mini theory about this. So even though Devilman was created in 1972, which was before Berserk, Crybaby was released since 2018. So I think seeing as the two characters were similar in like a lot of ways, they altered Rio's design in the series to be more like Griffith, with him looking more feminine. Now the character that was originally inspired by this character in Devilman is now inspiring the same character in the newer version of the story, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not just talking about Ryu looking more feminine like his normal form either, because when he becomes Satan, like he looks identical to like Griffith in my opinion, like mainly with his hair, like they look like eerily similar. It's actually kind of freaky. Now that we've discussed Griffith and Rio being very similar antagonists, almost identical in my opinion, I think it's now time to discuss like the similarities in the stories. Both the stories start out with the antagonist and the main character becoming friends and working together to fight those who oppose them, you know? But over the course of the story, the antagonists grow such a deep connection to the protagonist that they seem to even fall in love with them. Yeah, they're both kind of gay, not gonna lie. That's just something I think. Yeah, they definitely seem to fall in love with them. But despite their best efforts, the one they fall in love with the one that they love the most, leave them. You know, and they feel alone, and they begin to realize the protagonist actually loved someone else more than them. That being Mickey for Akira and Casca for Guts. Although with Casca, Griffith does something to Casca. If you've watched or read Berserk, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not really gonna get into that much because I don't want to get demonetized. But then it just starts to hit the fan, and everyone around them begin to die, and demons are everywhere, and not only that, the protagonist's best friend that they thought they could trust with their entire life betrayed them, and are revealed to be basically demon lords and the true main antagonist. They then proceed to take absolutely everything from both characters and leave them to be all alone. Once having taken everything from them, the protagonist then vows to kill the person they once considered their friend. Now, and this means war, you know. So pretty similar stories in that case. Like you can kind of see where it's going. This kind of plot structure, you know, it's pretty similar concepts, but they do unique things in both stories. One other thing I'd like to mention about both series are art style. Well, they're very different in many ways. I've also noticed that there's a lot of inspiration when it comes to two art styles. When it comes to Berserk, being inspired by Devilman's art style, in my opinion. If you look at some of the more detailed panels in Devilman, you can see where Berserk sometimes takes its inspirations. And it's not just these ultra detailed panels either. There's a lot of other panels that share the similarities, and I'll put examples up on the screen, like just for you to see, and comparing with things that I just think is pretty interesting. I think both series have amazing art, especially Berserk and Devilman too. Just a lot of Devilman is like kind of just more like the panels are just more like they're not always the super detailed panels. They're just more like kind of like traditional, like kind of like, you know, like regular slice of life panels that you'd see during the time, but then at some points like there'll be extremely detailed panels that look really good and really worth reading every time. But I think there is a lot of inspiration that you can see between Devilman and Berserk in terms of art style. One last thing I'd like to mention is the way humanity acts in both series. In both series, humanity is often quick to panic and make irrational decisions, and it causes them to kill others because of their irrationality. In the Conviction arcs, similar to the murder of Miki and her family, there are a whole group of rational people who are trying to execute Casca because they believe her to be a witch just like Miki and Devilman. The difference between them is that Casca lives, Miki gets killed and they put her head on a pike. Pretty dark shit. That's probably still one of the darkest moments in Devilman, if not the darkest. But you know, it's pretty dark shit, you know. But in Devilman, witch hunts are actually mentioned multiple times. You know, the witch hunts that happened during the 1600s in the Western world. It's a constant thing mentioned in the manga, and it seems like something similar. It is happening in Berserk, so it seems like they're kind of also going towards that like theme of like comparing it to the witch hunts of Salem. So I think what the authors are trying to say in both stories is that we stop being so violent and come whoever we don't agree with. We need to learn to not be afraid of everything we deem as unnatural. We need to band together and make peace before we destroy ourselves in the process. you know. So I think that's what they're trying to tell us. There's probably also many other similars probably missing out, but those were the main ones. I think it's blatantly obvious that Berserk is inspired by Devilman, but that doesn't make it any less compelling or good. They took what made Devilman so great and made a masterpiece for themselves, picked the best aspects of the original source, and added a few of their own spins on it. I think it's good to show that you should never be afraid to draw inspiration from others to make your own compelling work. We should embrace our inspirations and strive to be, you know, just like them, which is what I'm doing with like trying to make these, you know, YouTube videos. Like I'm trying to model myself after other content creators that, you know, I find that I've watched throughout the years, and trying to replicate their styles, but add my own spin on it, basically. But so hopefully, you know, this shit takes off. But anyways, that'll be the end of this video. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I think that's all I have to say. Just join the Discord, and yeah, I'm out, guys. See you later.